So after I've done everything that I've done on this channel, why would I want to start a project like this? Yeah, I think that's a fair question. I mean, it is, and I think there are more stories out there to tell, and you've seen me be the voice behind the screen a lot, documentary style. You've seen me do that. You've seen me go on vlogs, but I want to go a little different route this time, and I want to bring everyone along with me. I think there's stories out there that still need to be told, and I think they need to be told in a different way. And the thing is, on YouTube, the way it is, I've been in it for years now, and I'm starting to joke that I've seen myself, age on YouTube, getting older, but there's more stories out there that I want to tell. And I just feel like as a creator, as someone who loves to do this, you've got to evolve. You've got to try new things. And just from my heart, that's what I'm going to do. And I'm looking very forward to this. It's maybe a little out of my comfort zone, but hey, you got to try new things, right?
We've all seen grave markers and headstones, and normally they have two dates: birth and death, beginning and end. The events that occur between the dates tell the real story. Me, along with my team, bring you the stories, revelations, and history of what happens between the dates.
Okay, first things first about today's episode. Why do we want to go visit the grave of Jenny Wiley? Why is it a big deal? Really, there's a lot of work that goes into these trips that I do that most people never see, but a lot of it starts right here, right at the old desk, where we've got to do some research, and that's what I'm doing right now to tell more about the life of Jenny Wiley. Luckily, there is an internet. Wasn't always that way. A lot of garbage on there too, but a lot of good resources.
When Jenny Sellards was born, this land was still considered British colonial America. And when she was young, she, along with her family, would move to Virginia. She met Thomas Wiley, an immigrant, in 1779, thus the name Jenny Wiley. It was October 1789. Jenny would have children by now, and her husband Thomas headed towards a trading post to barter. Jenny's brother-in-law, out working in the field, began to hear owl call signals in the woods. When the Native Americans prepared to attack, they would make such signals. In the pioneer days, there were skirmishes between the natives and the pioneers. Jenny didn't think there would be any way that her home would be attacked in broad daylight. Sadly, it was. She was pregnant with her 5th child at the time. Her brother would be staying with her while her husband was away. 11 natives would storm the cabin. Her brother and 3 of her children were killed right in front of her. Sometime during the horrific scene, the natives realized they had mistakenly entered the wrong cabin. They were looking to get revenge on a neighboring cabin due to a previous fight that left 2 Cherokee dead. The natives knew that the search party would be coming quick, so they kidnapped Jenny and the last living child. For the next few weeks, she was forced to trudge through the woods as the natives attempted to stay ahead of the search party. The natives, tired of the child and Jenny struggling to keep up, took the life of her last remaining child. And when Jenny gave birth to her premature baby, they took its life too. Jenny would be held in captivity for months. She would make a daring escape, making it back to Harmon's blockhouse in Floyd County, Kentucky. She was eventually reunited with her husband Thomas. The Wileys would settle again in Johnson County, Kentucky, and would start a new family, having 5 children. Her daring escape is still honored today with Jenny Wiley State Park. She is buried near the farm, and it's our job today to find her grave.
Got to get inside, go do some work. I've got to let tomorrow's crew know that, hey, we've got some traveling to do, and tomorrow's crew is going to be Angel, my better half.
What are we doing here?
Well, I know this is not Jenny Wiley's grave, obviously, but this is, and you may be asking, what does this have to do with the video? Well, I'm going to tell you. The opening screens, the opening sequence there during the theme song, if you notice when I say birth and death, beginning and end, that is actually the grave of my grandfather. So because he's actually part of the video, I wanted to pay a little tribute to him. So on the way to see Jenny Wiley's grave, or try to find it, I wanted to stop here, and I don't get out here too often, so I wanted to stop here at my grandfather's grave, put a little penny on his stone. The good thing about it here, you put the penny on there as a sign that you visited, and certain times they collect all that money and it goes towards the upkeep of the cemetery. But we're in the Kentucky Veteran Cemetery here in Northeast Kentucky. He was definitely the patriarch of our family, and there's not a day that goes by, and if there are, they're very few that I don't think of him. But do you have any idea where we're going? I mean, really, I don't know. This might not be a good idea letting you drive.
We're going to Jenny Wiley's grave.
Do you know what city that's in?
Prestonsburg.
That's pretty close. Let's go.
I thought you got me, didn't you?
How horrific it was at the time. We get numb to what actually happened, and that's the case with Jenny Wiley. And I know that there were a lot of high emotions. And you won't just find Jenny's name at her gravesite. The Jenny Wiley name is all over this area. We're in Jenny Wiley State Park currently. Beautiful area though. Thunder's rolling at the state park. Through those trees you'll see a lake. I believe that's Dewey Lake, or Lake Dewey, something like that. But yeah, we're in Jenny Wiley State Park. Wanted to come here and check it out. I've never been here before. Wanted to come check the lake out before we take you all to the grave. So yeah, Jenny Wiley's name, it's all over this area. You hear that thunder? About to get a pretty big storm here, it looks like. Yeah, this seems to be a beautiful park, and I would like to come back sometime without the thunder and the lightning and just see how it goes. I better get back to the car. Just follow the signs in and it will get you to the Jenny Wiley grave site. And apparently the parking lot, it's very well marked. You can see right here, I mean, this is a blacktop lot. But this is apparently at a volunteer fire department. And the rain has stopped for now. I'm curious to see what this looks like going up to the grave. I did see a sign here on the path, foot traffic only. So you park and you walk. Now, it's said when Jenny Wiley came back and actually settled for the final time that she settled near this area. So, you know, not only are we going to the gravesite, I mean, we have the opportunity to see probably places that she saw, places that she walked. Just really an unbelievable part of history we're actually able to be a part of right now. See some newer graves up here. This actually seems to be part of a kind of a larger cemetery. Of course, that's on the other side of the fence, so maybe it's not part of the same. It's just hard to imagine that what we're looking at now are places she's probably seen and places she's probably walked, and this is the story that we know about. It's hard telling, you know, how many more stories out there that we don't know about that could possibly be similar. So you saw the grave of Thomas Wiley that we mentioned, Jenny's husband, Jenny's grave. And you can see right here, I'm guessing that's the old marker, surrounded by bars. I would hate to think someone would steal a grave marker, but people steal anything. So finally, after a day's journey, actually this wasn't as far away as I thought it would be, but after a day's journey, we've made it to the grave of Jenny Wiley. 1760 through 1881, it's hard to imagine. I mean, we're coming upon almost 200 years since her death. It's amazing what she lived through. It's amazing she didn't crack under the pressure. But I can see here this has been, a well-visited grave. Flowers and signs of visitors, but we did bring a little purple flower here we want to place at her grave in her memory. I mean, this is really it's a piece of history. I wouldn't call it a pretty piece of history, but it's a piece of history nonetheless. So we want to put a flower at her grave, the grave of Jenny Wiley. When the Wileys actually settled for the final time, it was in this area somewhere where we just were, where we are right now. It said that she lived in a cabin, her and her husband. So, not only are we at the final resting place, I don't know where the cabin was, but it was somewhere up here. So, we're very well looking at some of the places that she's seen and places that she walked. And this wasn't just a cemetery. This was her home. Well, filming is done. We've been to Jenny Wiley State Park. We've been to the grave of Jenny Wiley. So now it's time for a late lunch or an early dinner, whatever you want to call it. So we've made it to Prestonsburg, Kentucky. We're sitting inside this little Mexican restaurant, which the chips and salsa have been pretty amazing so far. The whole Jenny Wiley thing, really, it can be sad. And it makes me wonder at what point was it that she started getting recognized for what she had been through and almost made into a folk figure here in Kentucky. I don't know when all that happened, but we got the grave, of course, but state park, you have to have some sort of notoriety to be named after, have a state park named after you. But hope you enjoyed today's video. I know it was a little different, but this series is something that we want to continue to do. Just a little different spin on our normal cemetery visits. So once again, from Prestonsburg, Kentucky, I will see you again soon.
We've all seen grave markers and headstones, and normally they have two dates: birth and death, beginning and end. The events that occur between the dates tell the real story. Me, along with my team, bring you the stories, revelations, and history of what happens between the dates.